Too hard or not too hard? Hi everybody, it's Kathy here and we are playing along with Get In Shape, and this month, the month of March, we're using hearts. Thanks Miranda Weber for coordinating such a great hop every month, and this is the one I'm using these photos for today. That's my daughter, the one who is married, and that was her when she was about 10. I've pulled together a whole range of Vicky Bouton papers that I'm going to use, and I have this frame from a previous layout which I am going to use for my backing. And yes, I'm actually going to use a white background. Yes, are you shocked? I am using a white one, and I'm going to put my layout together with these brighter colours to cut all my hearts from. So I'm going to first of all trim the papers down, and I'm going to make them 6 by 6 squares, and then I'll be able to die cut all the hearts, as you can see over to the right now. Now I did use some uniquely creative nestled dies, and I also had some fancy dies that had hearts with different patterns in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer them up around the photos, as you can see here. So I have one black and white photo and one coloured photo, and I'm using the colours here to cover the background but to blend across as well. So the frame is perfect in the colour matches to these papers, and if you look closely in those hearts there, some of the papers have hearts in them as well. So lots and lots of hearts going on to this layout. And it's actually quite simple. So what I really did was I cut out 2 larger hearts for each colour. Then I cut out 2 of the middle-sized hearts, and then I've cut out 3 of the smaller ones and 1 fancy one for each colour. And what I'm doing is I'm sort of running them around the layout so that the colours blend together, and you'll see that I will overlap them so that they do bleed together. Now I am tucking them under the photos mostly, but I will have a couple that will overlap the top of the photos just to tie it all together. And I do like how this ends up in the end. I wasn't too sure how it was going to work out as I started the project, but as you can see, it is slowly coming together nicely. Now some of the hearts I do pop up with foam tape, as you can see here, and that's to give that dimension and overflow. And the next thing that I do after I make sure I get them touching is, because I try to build the colour wheel around, is I blend the colours together. So you will see where they start to go, like the pink there touches the blue, and then the yellow touches the green, or the yellow's going into the pink, so that they're overlapping and filling in the spaces. And I really do like how this is working. I wasn't sure how it was going to come together when I first started, but as I've built it, I can see where I need extra hearts, and I can see where I can match it over the top. And I'm liking that it's got depth and dimension by popping up some of those hearts. Now, as I said, there's my daughter, the married daughter. She was about 10 when I took these photos. I used to just do lots of portrait photos. I often just take photos in the minute, and I will do them as portraits, and a lot of my scrapping is just the moment scrapping. So I like to do that because that's what makes me happy. I know people like to do the event. People do lots of photos with the events, and that's great. I do that occasionally, but generally I like to capture the moment, one image, one portrait is a lot of what I like to do. I have spent a lot of time practicing the single portrait as well, and especially as they grew older. So here I am layering up some quotes that I have cut from some paper rose cut up parts, and they're just little quotes about like that yellow one says shine bright, there's the blue one says be weird, be you, the green one says perfect just the way you are, the purple one says you are the sweetest, and the pink one says I love that you are not normal. And then I have used some thickers for the title, and I called it Radiant. I also went with a tiny punch that I have with a heart, and I'm doing the reverse side of those pattern papers, so they have a stripe through, which you can't really see so well on the screen, but the reverse side of those Vicky Bouton papers have a stripe pattern, and I'm putting those into all the spaces with the colours. And you can see how they're filling in the gaps and blending the two colours together, which is important to bring them to a cohesive piece on this layout. And it is a little bit tricky flipping them over, but I persevere and I get them down, and as you can see, they are filling in the space. It's a bit like confetti, really, when you have a little tiny punch like this. And so I'm just popping them around the layout, as you can see. Some have 5, some have 3, some have 4, but altogether the hearts end up as an odd number, and that's why it's pleasing to the eye and it's quite settled for you to look at. So I love how this has come together. As I said, it was an experiment, and what I'm doing here is these stickers have lost their stickiness, and so an old trick that I learnt from somebody watching a video, I cannot even tell you who it was a long time ago, that they just put it onto their finger and then top up with the glue, and that's an easy way of controlling the glue. I'm just going to put in a faux stitching border just to separate the white background from the fancy edge. I like how the colours in that border match the colours of the hearts, but the black just breaks it and gives it that definition to create that defined layout. They're just little tips and ideas to help make your layouts stand out without too much effort or another element. Now I have chosen to use black splatters on this, and that's because of all the colour that is in there, but also it picks up the darker colour in the frame and in the photos as well. And I don't do it too heavily, I just do it a little bit, and I'm just happy with how this has come out altogether. Now I did cover these photos, you saw me cover the photos, so tell me how I get ink splatters on my photos. No idea. Anyway, it happened, nothing I can do about it, that's it. So there you can see that is how it has come together. I'm very happy with that layout. I think it turned out really well. I've had these photos sitting in a drawer for a long time, and I'm glad that they are now on a layout. There's nothing like sometimes going back and doing old photos. It makes you feel a sense of accomplishment when you can go back and look at memories and achieve another page into the album. So as I said, have a go. Hearts are a great one to play with. I really like how this came out. If there's something here that you like, give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. There's a full playlist listed down below of all the players for the month of March in Get In Shape. We're using hearts for March. What better shape to use on a layout for a girl? Happy scrapping, everybody. Here's my next video recommendation for you, and I'll see you in the next one.